might be the type of person that never like really settles with somebody. Maybe he's like a, he's like a bee going from flower to flower to flower.
Got back on the move, it really didn't allow for us to spend as much time and put as much energy into our relationship. I don't think the love really dispersed. I just think it was just like, we weren't feeding the relationship.
Understanding that, man, let me enjoy moments. And also, this life is about but creating happiness and creating joy and creating love and like embracing the grace that exists. So this is somebody, I mean, if I'm going to get married, it's to her. Wow. That's simple as that. You have to understand you're not going to get anybody that's perfect because you're not perfect. So understand that there's some certain things that you will compromise in choosing that partner. But as long as the core values, the values that are most important to you, that person, marks off on that list, then you good.
She gave some good advice there.
Welcome back to StarHush, where the streets never sleep and the tea never stops spilling. Now, let me get this straight. Whispers are flying that Common might already be moving on with somebody new. And word is Jennifer Hudson did not see this one coming. What? The buzz is that this whole thing blindsided her, and people are saying it's looking way messier than anyone expected. Because hold up, wasn't Common just on every mic and every podcast talking about how Jennifer was one of his greatest blessings? Didn't he just gush about how they were equally yoked, acting like he had finally found his forever partner? That's why this rumor is hitting extra hard, because it's not just some vague gossip. This is giving full-on two-faced energy, and fans are scratching their heads trying to make sense of it. The streets are already buzzing like crazy, asking how you can go from showering your woman with praise one minute to allegedly entertaining someone else the next. That's not just a small shift, that's a whole plot twist in the making. People are saying Jen must feel like she's been hit with emotional whiplash, because imagine thinking you're in your happy ever after 1 second, and then bam, blindsided by whispers of a new flame the next.
He might be the type of person that never like really settles with somebody. Maybe he's like a, he's like a bee going from flower to flower to flower.
Now hold on, because the whispers just got even louder. Word on the curb is that Common's got another woman keeping his sheets warm, and not only that, he's allegedly been out here talking slick about Jennifer Hudson after stepping out on her. What? That's not just messy, that's full-on betrayal energy, and it's got everybody talking. Some folks are saying this whole situation might go back to last year, when Common allegedly put a proposal on the table and Jennifer wasn't ready to say yes. Did that rejection bruise his ego so bad that now he's out here trying to flip the script? Because if that's the case, then what we're seeing now isn't just a breakup, it's payback dressed up in headlines. But that's not all. There's another layer to this tea, because some are whispering that maybe Common is trying to run distraction plays. Why? Because people have started pulling receipts and revisiting old rumors that he might not even be into women the way he claims. That's right. The chatter about him allegedly preferring to play for the other team has resurfaced, and it's got fans wondering if this new woman storyline is just smoke and mirrors. One fan even commented, "This man stays running from the truth. First dodging marriage, now dodging accountability." Oof, if that's how people are feeling, then this scandal is about to get even bigger than anyone thought.
Jennifer Hudson,
Yes.
Your girlfriend, how special is that relationship to you?
Oh man, that relationship is one of the greatest blessings and most important things in my life, in my whole journey in life. The friendship, the partnership, the life partnership, just the connection. Byron, to have somebody who's as talented and just soulful and like gifted and can do all these different things and is one of the greatest vocalists of all time, and just this pure artist, man. Like, she's a special artist. But then to have someone who, most importantly, when it comes to relationship, it's just like, it's like equal yoke. Y'all can.
Hope you're sitting down for this one, because the mess is spilling everywhere and it's got people talking nonstop. If there's one thing you cannot deny about Common, it's that this man has a track record when it comes to dating some of the most powerful and beautiful women in the game. And when I say the list is stacked, I mean it's basically a hall of fame of Hollywood stunners. Let's run it down. Serena Williams, Taraji P. Henson, Tiffany Haddish, Erykah Badu, Kim Jones, Ava DuVernay, Simone Bozeman, Jaguar Wright, Angela Rye, the list is endless. That's not just casual dating history, that's a resume. It almost feels like Common collects famous women the way other people collect sneakers, because every time you blink, he's linked to someone at the top of her field. But here's the gag. None of them ever stuck around, not one. And the common assumption, pun fully intended, is that Common simply isn't built to keep a relationship long-term. Fans even joke that he should come with a warning label that says, expiration date 6 months max. That might sound harsh, but when you look at his history, it kind of makes sense. And listen, he's not even denying it. Common himself has admitted that once the sparks fade, he's out. He's literally confessed that he gets hooked on the pursuit and the thrill of the early stage. The chase, the butterflies, the fireworks, but the moment things get too real, too settled, or too steady, boom, he pulls the plug and moves on like the whole thing never happened. To make it even wilder, he's openly said he's addicted to love, not intimacy. And that obsession with the high of falling for someone is what drives him. Translation? He loves the chase way more than he loves the relationship. That kind of pattern explains why he can land these iconic women, but can't seem to build something that lasts.
Why can't anybody just be honest? They're waiting for Chrissy Teigen to get plastic surgery and end up Jackie O so that they can be roommates and make musicals together. Let's just be real.
Okay.
He'd rather spend time with John Legend than any of these bitches.
Well, it looks like Jennifer Hudson might have been living in a little dream world thinking her charm could magically turn Common into a forever man. People are calling it straight up delusional because if there's one thing Common has shown us time and time again, it's that he's not exactly built to settle down for the long haul. Still, to be fair to Jennifer, when their romance first kicked off, Common was out here saying all the right things. He went public about therapy, claiming he was working on himself, and even hinted in interviews that he was finally ready to be the marrying type. He even said point blank that if he ever did get married, Jennifer would be the one. That's a bold statement to make, and of course it had fans rooting for them as the next power couple. But here's where the fairy tale cracks start showing. Fans with sharp eyes have been pointing out subtle changes lately. Less public appearances together, body language that looks way colder than before, and cryptic posts from Jennifer that got people reading between the lines. Suddenly, the perfect picture isn't looking so perfect anymore. And while nothing solid has come out yet, whispers have been swirling that Common's attention might already be drifting towards someone new. A couple of unconfirmed reports even claim he's been spotted out without Jennifer, looking a little too cozy with other women. Now, nothing concrete has hit the blogs yet, but let's be honest, it's Common. Would anyone really be shocked if it turned out true? What's even more explosive, though, is the talk about Common allegedly venting behind the scenes that he just can't stand Jennifer anymore. That's wild because not long ago, he was calling her his blessing. So what changed? Well, insiders say it could all trace back to a rejected proposal. Rumor has it Common was ready to lock it down a few months ago, but Jennifer wasn't having it. Sources close to her spilled that she just didn't see herself marrying him. The reason? For one, she wasn't ready. And two, she never fully trusted him in the first place because, let's be real, Common's name has been linked to so many famous women over the years that it's basically his reputation now. Even though Common came in strong and swept her off her feet, Jennifer couldn't shake the doubts. She worried that his past with all those Hollywood women might repeat itself, and she didn't want to rush into a hasty decision she'd regret. But fans are pointing out the obvious. Wasn't this something she already knew before dating him? His business has been out there for years, plastered across headlines. So it does feel a little ridiculous for her to suddenly have second thoughts about his track record now that marriage is on the table. And that's not the only reason she allegedly turned down the ring. According to insiders, Jennifer still carries a lot of scars from her toxic relationship with David Otunga. That chapter left her cautious and wary about ever walking down the aisle again. And she reportedly told people close to her that marriage just might not be in the cards for her, period. So when Common came around ready to upgrade their romance to something official, Jennifer hit the brakes, leaving him frustrated, embarrassed, and maybe even a little bitter.
the pattern I found myself in and what was called love addiction, who my therapist broke it down, was like that feeling of being like, oh, I'm in love, and this that honeymoon period that people call it. I was addicted to that.
Jennifer Hudson was reportedly so shaken by her past with David Otunga that she swore she wouldn't rush into marriage again. And honestly, who can blame her? She said before that their relationship was toxic, and people know exactly what she means by that. According to insiders, Common really did try to calm her fears, telling her he was serious and in it for the long haul despite all the famous women in his past. But Jennifer wasn't convinced. She kept reminding people that she once spent 9 whole years engaged only for it to go nowhere, and she didn't want history repeating itself. In her mind, getting tied down too quickly was just setting herself up for another heartbreak and another messy reset. That's when things allegedly started shifting between them. Maybe Common felt rejected. Maybe he realized she wasn't ever going to give him the forever he was looking for. And maybe the romance just never recovered. But here's where the gossip gets even juicier, because some folks are saying the proposal rejection wasn't even the real reason Common pulled away. Word on the street is that the truth behind their split might run much deeper. Now, people are whispering that Common's issue with Jennifer wasn't about her commitment at all, but about who he truly is attracted to. Allegedly, some claim he doesn't even like women like that and got tired of putting on a front. This is wild, but not brand new. Do you remember when Jaguar Wright, one of Common's exes, went on record saying she wished the world knew the real truth about him? According to her, Common doesn't really love black women the way he pretends to. She claimed he uses relationships with them as a way to boost his own image and keep his name hot in Hollywood. That's a heavy accusation, but she didn't stop there. Jaguar went as far as to allege that Common would actually rather be with men and that every woman he's been with knows this deep down. And she added another eyebrow-raising detail. She pointed out that despite Common dating some of the most outspoken women in entertainment, not one of them has ever spoken up about his performance in the bedroom. That silence, according to her, should make people question the narrative. Now, let's be fair. It could simply be that these women are respectful and prefer to focus on the positives from their relationships rather than spill intimate details. Or maybe Jaguar's claims carry more weight than people want to admit. Either way, her comments lit a fire under the rumors that Common's love life might not be what it seems. And when you stack that on top of his long list of relationships that never stuck, it definitely has fans questioning whether the problem is really about Jennifer refusing the ring, or if there's a whole other truth hiding in plain sight.
But I mean, I just wish Lonnie would tell the truth, be bisexual.
So here's where the tea really spills, because someone actually came forward with first-hand details about Common, and it's got the industry buzzing. A man claimed he was at a big Hollywood event over the summer with his wife, who's connected to the scene. According to him, Common spent nearly the whole night locked in conversation with him, just him, while his wife was busy working the event. At first, he didn't even realize who Common was until his wife later told him. Oh, and for context, the guy described himself as white, tall, and good-looking as ever. But the real shocker came at the end of the night. Around 3 a.m., when his wife texted him to come outside, Common allegedly leaned in and asked, "So what are you doing later tonight?" The man said he quickly answered, "Going home with my wife," but the vibe immediately turned awkward. He even swore up and down when retelling the story that there was no misunderstanding. He was sure about what Common meant, and it was exactly how it sounded. That little story added fuel to a fire that's been burning for years. Some people have long whispered that Common struggles with his feelings when it comes to relationships, and stories like this only make the speculation louder. There are even unconfirmed claims that something from his past may have left him conflicted about intimacy, which could explain why his romances with women never seemed to last. Now, none of this is proven, but you know how the streets move. Once rumors like this start rolling, they're hard to stop. But here's the twist. Jennifer Hudson isn't being spared in all this drama either. Some people are saying maybe she's part of the problem too. Remember her messy split with David Otunga? That breakup was pure chaos. David claimed Jennifer might have been secretly involved with music producer Molly Music, and while Jennifer never confirmed whether it was true, the rumors were enough to drag their relationship into the mud. Jennifer ended up filing a protective order, saying David's jealousy spiraled out of control. She accused him of constantly calling her when she was in the studio in Chicago, and, when he couldn't reach her, even having their son try to record her movements to prove she was with Molly. She also alleged that David had become increasingly threatening and aggressive toward both her and their son. David shot back immediately, denying everything. He said Jennifer was twisting the story, and because of her influence in the industry, people were quick to believe her side over his. He also claimed he was the main parent in the household, saying he had been their son's primary caregiver since birth, while Jennifer was away traveling for work. On top of that, David accused Jennifer of forcing him to choose family over his own career, only to later throw it back in his face and label him as a freeloader. Things got so messy that the police actually launched an investigation into Jennifer's claims, but David was cleared just a few months later. Eventually, Jennifer dropped her protective order, but not before making him promise to never show up at her property again. So when you put it all together, Common's name, constantly caught in messy whispers about his love life, and Jennifer's past drama with David, you start to wonder, maybe this split wasn't all on one person after all. Maybe both Common and Jennifer are carrying baggage that finally caught up with them. Now here's where it gets even trickier. David once said that Jennifer was using her power and influence to paint him as the villain, while she quietly played the role of the perfect star in public. He swore up and down that she wasn't who she portrayed to the world, and that behind closed doors, she had a whole other side that people didn't see. So maybe, just maybe, Common got a taste of that same energy and realized he couldn't handle it anymore. Some insiders are even whispering that Jennifer allegedly started feeling like Common wasn't on her level, especially since she's got that EGOT status, a talk show, and way bigger checks coming in. Imagine being with someone who low-key makes you feel beneath them. That could definitely eat away at a relationship. If that's true, it's disappointing because Jennifer knew Common's history before she got involved, and yet here they are, allegedly hitting the same wall everyone else predicted. But let's be real. At this point, no one knows what's really happening between these two. Did Common cheat? Is he just slipping back into his old habits? Or is Jennifer the one making things impossible behind the scenes? Nobody can say for sure, and that's what makes this whole story so wild. For all we know, they could still be together right now and letting the internet run wild with theories. What we do know is that the whispers keep stacking up, and every little clue, every missed sighting, every shady post, every rumor has fans putting their own puzzle pieces together. The question is, which version of the story do you believe? Drop your thoughts below because I'm dying to know what you think. Do you see Jennifer as the queen who got played, or is Common the one who finally decided he couldn't deal with her anymore? Hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into this drama. And as always, see you on the next one, my stars and my hushers.